Hello, welcome to Stories of Hope. Godfrey Gunn as your host. Today we are going to talk about parenting the unborn. Things sometimes doesn't make sense to many Africans, like many African parents, but science states that we need to start parenting before even conception. And we are honored today to have Mr. Kadoko Richard. Please greet our viewers and introduce yourself.
Hello, viewers. My name is Richard Kadoko, a family therapist with a special passion for parenting the unborn child and addictions.
So you've heard his own words. He's an expert in parenting, especially the unborn child. So Richard has traveled all the way from Kampala to be with us here, and we are honored to have you at Stories of Hope.
Thank you.
Yeah. Many people talk about parenting, and I grew up knowing parenting that you start when the baby is born.
When the baby is walking.
Is walking. And but science, as I read many reports, I found that there is this thing of parenting the unborn.
Yes, we even have psychologists and psychiatrists specializing in working with the unborn baby.
How do you parent the unborn? Is he thinking, reasoning, feeling? So tell us about that.
Because he's different?
Yeah, you tell me, you are the expert.
We have what we've proved, what we call cell memory.
Cell memory.
Yeah. Each of your cells is capable of picking information and keeping it and processing it.
So when the baby is inside, then he can feel the same way the mother feels.
Not only that, because, for example, let's get at conception. Let's leave before conception. Let's just talk about conception. Conception, a woman has an egg and a man has a sperm. The sperm travel to meet. A man emits about between 300 to 500 million sperm.
Per release?
Per release. But the woman gives one egg per month.
Just one?
One egg.
So their eggs are numbered.
Yes. But this is where new science is giving us an understanding, because we can even film what happens inside the one cell, which was not possible before, so we did not have the knowledge we have now. But now that we have it, it's amazing.
So when do you start parenting?
We start parenting 4 months before.
4 months?
Before pregnancy.
Okay. There are people who don't know when they will conceive. They've been waiting for a long time. It's 1 year, 2 years. So how do you start before you even
Yes, because we are not where we should be as Africans. When we were where we were supposed to be, there was no question of getting married and spending a year without a child. It was impossible.
Could you explain a little bit about that?
They knew the things they do to pre-parent. They prepared the girl, primed her with the right talk, the right company around her. They made sure that the people surrounding her, apart from the aunt and the uncle, the rest were sexually pure.
Is that a case for all Africans, or it is from your tribe?
No. It's common to indigenous people all over the world.
Well, it's my first time to hear that.
Some details may change, like the Himba in Zimbabwe. Theirs is astounding, because mom hears the baby 4 months before pregnancy. The child comes and calls mom out to learn his song. The mom goes, spends time in the wilderness with a child who teaches her his or her song. Then she'll come back, and on that fateful day, when they're in bed with her husband, she will sing that song, and the pregnancy will be. For them, it's not a gamble. They know precisely when it will be.
Okay, there's what our ancestors did to prepare a special mother.
Yeah.
What does science say about preparing a mother? Let's start with the mother.
Now, science is not very clear because they're interpreting it culture by culture. But what they agree is that when genomic imprinting begins, when a cell starts collecting its material, that is when parenting should be.
So you prepare this.
Now, how it is interpreted, different cultures do it differently. The Himba, theirs is open because now they are the thing. Everyone is talking about the Himba. It's become a tourist attraction. They go there to see what happens. These people are in desert, but a woman can actually hear a child, the spirit of the child, before the child gets a body.
Wow, that's
Goes,
amazing.
learns the song, teaches the husband, and then on the fateful day, when they know this is the day, they both sing the song, and conception happens. Now, in conception, when the 300 to 500 million sperm go, we used to think they compete. They don't compete. A portion goes ahead to clear the way.
Okay.
A portion is the potential, and there is a vanguard at the back to make sure no one interferes. That's how God designed it. Science is discovering what God designed long time ago. And these things cooperate with a cooperation that's beyond comprehension for us at the moment. So they travel, and when they make it to the egg, all the other sperm go around the egg, and the egg must make its first decision in life to choose among the potentials who. And when it picks who, it opens, the sperm enters, it closes.
Okay. Now, I don't know whether you're going to look at this biblically or culture. I think we're going to take culture. How do you prepare this girl? Okay, like among Baganda, where you come from, they prepare a girl before she gets married.
Yes.
But when she reaches there, is there another way of preparing her now? You're a woman, you're married, and the next thing is to conceive.
No, that is already done. In the period they are preparing her for marriage, it's done.
Oh.
They make sure only sexually pure people, women, are around her. They talk to her, knowing they're not talking to the brain, but they're talking to every cell of this girl. Because the entire body must know exactly what to do when.
That is Baganda.
That's Baganda.
Oh.
Forgotten now. When you ask, few people know what I'm talking about. They would bathe in special water, smear the body with cow ghee, use scrapings from sweet bananas to make a cream. But all of this is feeding every cell in the body to do a special job. Because the firstborn must be a boy. And he must have a universal brain. Meaning, he can encompass everybody.
Universal brain.
That's my term. He can deal with everybody. Now, they did that with the girl. Through talk, food, the water they bathe, the creams they use, the fire they make, the music, everything was geared towards that for several months, towards the wedding. But they did the same with the boy.
Oh, that was my next question.
He was not involved in preparing the wedding. That is done by his father and the family.
Today's a different story.
I know. But what have we done? We've produced children whose cortisol levels are out of bounds.
Now that we are in a modern family, in a modern life, what do you think should borrow from that ancient knowledge?
Now, fathers to become fathers is one of the hardest things. I'm a selfish bastard.
Selfish bastard.
It's mine. I'm not going to marry for you, your woman. You sit there comfortably and I do everything with my brothers. We no longer have that cohesion. But if we could borrow it and bring back that sensibility into community, a lot of things will change.
But
it is
I
hard.
think in your culture or in many cultures, a woman is prepared for marriage, but men
Men are also prepared. In Rwanda, men were prepared.
in our culture. But today, a
They
man
were prepared and they would not go to war when they're preparing for marriage. There are certain duties. They would not slaughter a cow. They would not do certain things because they are prospective fathers. They are being prepared to bring life. So they will be helped to do work that nurtures life, not take away life.
So that is before the pregnancy. Now that, okay, let's say she's pregnant, how is a father have to be involved? Because someone told me, like in the Jewish culture, the husband would come back home and read all these,
Yes.
how many books? The Pentateuch?
Yes.
Every day, recite them to this child.
I have a child in a grandson in Nigeria. Not biological, but because I counseled the couple.
Before
During I got in when there was a
already
pregnancy. I told them establish a time to read the Old Testament to the child. They established the time. And when I was there, this happened. The man was talking to his friends, planning the following day's activities. And the time came when he should be there reading, because he's the man to read. And the child kicked the mother so sharply.
the father was not home already.
And she knew what it meant. She sent one of her boys to go and call him. And the man said, please excuse me. And he went back. Immediately there was peace. In the time I was there, I'm trying to tell you what I saw. In the time I was there, as long as he read the Bible, at the same time in the evening, same time in the morning, there were no pains. The child will be peaceful inside. They even had time to play. Dad will come back around 11 and sit and put a hand here and the kid will kick. Put it this side, kick. Then they say, okay, guess where am I going to put my hand? And this baby could recognize dad's voice and do things for him.
Wow.
Meaning, this unborn child is already a person. There is no point at which there is nobody in the womb. The spirit is there 4 months before the pregnancy and is in charge of building the first bits before the spirit gets in. The spirit gets in on day 49. When a chemical, in brief, we call DMT, is poured out. Then the spirit starts being resident, constructing things resident. Then, surprisingly, when a person is dying, DMT is poured 40 days before death. It doesn't matter whether it's an accident, a bullet, or what we call sudden death. The spirit knows exactly when your time is up.
We are not going to go deep into that, but let's go to, okay, you've been there during pregnancy as a father, creating the good environment for the mother, because if I believe if a mother is feeling secure, the baby will enjoy that. So you have done all that. Now
you avoid the stress for the woman. You give her a lot of love so that the child feels the love. It should be real, not pretended. You are not looking at other women lustfully, because your child, every time you look at another woman lustfully, feels it.
I think that scares many of our viewers, but
this is what happened to me when I had another woman and my wife was pregnant. My daughter was born believing she's ugly, yet she's beautiful. The one thing that annoys her most is when you say you're beautiful. She loses everything.
So you mean by then you didn't know what you know today?
I didn't know.
And how have you rectified that?
I'm giving you the story of this girl. So she started her periods at 8 years.
8?
But they were painful. She would sometimes go into coma.
Oh.
We struggled with the medical bills as she was growing. But as she was getting to 17, it became so bad. One time they brought her home like they're carrying a dead body.
Oh.
We went to hospital, the doctors messed up everything, said indigestion, but I could see clearly this is not indigestion. Eventually I said, let me take my daughter. And we went back home. I treated her myself. Then from there we went to Zambia. Hospital. And then as she was doing her university, there was an expert who came and they said, you must come and this one sees you. So we did a battery of tests and the man gave it to us the hard way. She had cancer of the pituitary gland.
Oh.
Now when they said she has cancer of the pituitary gland, of course, I know what it means. It's not operable. So I knew max, I have 6 to 1 year to live with her. So she would come home every weekend to spend it with us. If I had a seminar, she would be there.
She was saying her goodbyes. So.
We all knew we are maximizing on the last bit. There was no help. On one seminar, she said she has a question, and I said, normally we use ourselves as examples. She said, I'm not comfortable with it. So I said, okay, can it wait until we go home? She said, yeah. We finished, went back home. Around 7, we sat in the bedroom and she told us she had fought with the brother because the brother phoned her at Wandege roundabout. Then there was a roundabout, and said she looked wonderful, and they fought. Police had to come in.
He had your brother?
Yes. Her elder brother. And when she said it, I knew deep inside me, because by then I now had this knowledge. I knew what went wrong. So I told her, it's not your fault. It's my fault. She said, no, Dad, it's no fault. I said, no. I'll tell you. When your mom was pregnant, I had another woman who was also pregnant. You took it on you to think that you are not good enough. That's why I did the other.
So you are saying all these hormonal imbalances were caused by your absence?
My lying presence.
The mess you created.
Because I was there, but I was lying. I loved my wife, but I loved another woman. So in between there, the confusion I created caused the problem.
So I want to hear the end of the story.
Because the end of the story, briefly, I asked for forgiveness. She cried, I cried, my wife cried. And then at the end of it, she's the funny one, says, now imagine somebody walks in here and finds us all three seated in darkness, crying. What do they think? And we laughed. Then she said, Dad, I forgive you. 2 weeks later, she was due to go back to Zambia. there was no cancer.
What?
There was no cancer. And they told us to do the whole battery of tests, which was very expensive. Then you have got to redo them all.
So how many years now since that?
We are coming to 18, 20 years.
The girl is cancer free.
She's free.
Wow. I mean,
And they said she will never have a child. She has a child.
okay, now this baby is born. Let me start with the father. Okay, you started earlier now. The journey continues.
Yes,
How is he supposed to be?
You are there. You escort her out to bathe in herbs, which have been squeezed.
Like in Kigali here, we no longer have those herbs.
Yes, I
Okay,
think
bathing
so.
in a modern way.
But what? No. It's not modern way. It purposefully. It's the chlorophyll being taken not through the mouth, where it is going to be changed by the acids and alkali and the liver, but through the skin, where it goes directly into the bloodstream.
Oh.
That's why you don't towel yourself. Why is it at 5:30? That's when we have maximum rays that cause vitamin D production in the body.
That's kind of complicated to understand.
Yes, but the science is there. I'm just going over the top. Now, but the husband is always with the woman outside. And they come in together, and then you get a bowl of, again, chlorophyll, but this time squeezed to be drunk. The man holds the bowl and gives it to the wife. This is investing in your child. Later on, when they're going through the teenage crisis, when you speak, you were there when I needed you. When you say something, I do it.
Wow.
If you missed it, teenage, you'll know how difficult it
Like
is.
another question related to that is like during the childbirth, that process.
We are coming to childbirth. Now, labor comes. Dad is supposed to be there. Good hospitals, dad scrubs.
Yeah.
So you are there, you hold your wife, and the child comes. Many children, if you've been there on the journey, when you speak, your child comes out very fast.
So it's like
Literally, there are fewer complications.
during the teenage
birth.
years.
No, at birth.
At
The child
birth.
comes very quickly.
Oh.
They hear dad's voice. Even those who want to know the sex of the child. Some children are stubborn. You go to do a scan and the child hides her sex or his sex. But if dad is there and he says, oh, my child, I want to see, the child opens immediately. We've done this experiment in Kampala with some radiographers. And every time a dad spoke, the child would.
Now, if you've been following these persons before conception and now, is there research that has shown the results that parenting this way?
There are many.
What are the
many
results?
Papers. One, the immune system is high. Children who have been parented by both are rarely sick. Where dad is messy, they have cancer, diabetes, type 1 diabetes. So some are even born with diabetes. Some are even born with cancers. There are many complications. There's asthma. There are so many other things that happen.
How about the behavioral part of it?
The behavioral part is always complicated. We have a whole spectrum, but they usually cause addiction in the end.
Wow. Okay, my last question is, okay, I was not there, but now I understand.
No, but let's finish this. As the baby comes out, birth bond.
Birth bond, what does that mean?
When a child comes out, they prepare the child very quickly and put the child on the bare chest of the mom. They bond. And dad picks this child and welcomes the child in the world and tells them their narrative into the world where they've come. That will give this child direction. Even if you die there, the child will grow. Now, many of us, men, me personally, I didn't get the chance to birth born with any of my children.
You were scared of going inside there, or you were not around?
Not. Who would even get me there? I'm somewhere in a bar drinking. I'm somewhere with some other women. I'm doing whatever, but I'm not there.
Okay, now you're a good example. Now to my next question. You were not there.
Yes, I
things
was
you're
not
not
there.
supposed to do. Now, what can I do now?
What have I done?
Or what have you done
Yes.
to
Because
correct
I've
all that?
got the problems. They
Yes.
got sick. I had a child on the street. I've had all these complications. Now, what have I done? We created a family day
Family day.
where they came, we prepared food, I was involved, we sat down,
All of them.
all of them.
You don't sit on the dining table, you see.
We're seated on the ground. It was a traditional meal. I asked forgiveness and worked closely to stay in touch with them. It's a long, tiresome journey.
What are the results? What has...
So far, one of the results, one of my sons is testimony to.
Okay.
The one who was on the street is now a respectable civil servant.
Wow. That is amazing. So parenting is very key. But
It's key to forming the person. What their personality is going to be. All the things that describe who they are depends on the parenting.
so that goes, there is a character formation now. Let it be my last question.
Yes.
You've been there, you fed her, you took care of the mother. Now when it comes to character formation, because in the ancient times, people would just meet a son and say, are you son, so and sons, whatever, are you from this family?
If I parented and deparented at the right time, 3.5 years, I start deparenting.
Deparenting, what is deparenting?
I stop being a parent. I give a child space to be independent. I guide at a distance. But before pregnancy, to 3.5 years, I have been involved. I have invested. I have talked. I've given a narrative. Now, what people call character formation is none of my business. My children are my children. It doesn't matter where you find them. They will see the behavior and say, you are so-and-so's son.
Someone meets you on the way, hears you how you talk, and they can identify where you come from.
This gentleman I tell you, who is now a civil servant, was somewhere in Teso, meets an old gentleman, and he looks at him and says, do you know these people? He says, yes, that's my grandfather. He says, oh, I can see. I was wondering, what civil servant makes an appointment for 9 o'clock and he's in office before 9? At his level, they come late, and after all, nobody's going to say. But he's always in at 8.
In just 1 minute, I want you to look in that camera and talk to a man
Yes.
about the unborn, and just a little bit of how you've walked that journey and the results you've seen.
Gentlemen, my fellow men, we are here on a great mission to prepare the next generation of God men. God men, God women. And it is the one thing a man has that he must do perfectly in his life. When you pass, he will not ask you how much money you made on earth, how many jobs you had, how many women you slept with. He will not ask you all the things that have kept you busy. He'll ask you the children he gave you. And you must account for every second and the end result of what you did.